Tony Poulos reporting from TM Forum's Management World in Dublin. Today I had the pleasure of seeing a presentation by two executives from Deutsche Telekom. Olivier BAUJARD, who's the CTO of the company, and Stefan ROEHN, who is the CIO of Deutsche Telekom. Gentlemen, welcome. Great to have you both here. Firstly, Olivier, you talked about simplifying the customer experience. What's involved with doing that, and is it really possible?
There is a great deal of involvement of our company in that, and it's possible. It's needed and it's possible. Examples. When a customer wants to subscribe new services, why should not we provide him or her with self-provisioning capability? That's one single thing. When one wants to use his mobile phone to pay, that's a simplification of experience. When one wants to retrieve content from a photo, okay, or from a camera or on a phone, and then upload in the cloud, and get it accessed back on a large screen, and share with friends and families. All that in 2 clicks. This is what simplification is about. It's making the experience transparent for the customer, whatever the terminal, whatever the access technology, in order that the experience is easy to use. And through that, get more customers and more usage.
Stefan, you spoke about reducing the number of enterprise applications. Was that to do with internal applications or enterprise applications used by customers? And it's unusual because it's a time when most operators are increasing them rather than decreasing them.
Yes, I think we have to differentiate between what we call enterprise applications. These are the big applications we have since a long time, our legacy applications for customer care, billing, ERP, you name it. And they have all been programmed in the past in a highly customized manner, and they are now our biggest obstacle in moving into the new world. So we have to heavily reduce them and retire all those old legacy applications to make actually room for new applications. So this is the story I've been talking about. What you said is also right. I mean, the applications on the app stores is something which will grow tremendously. And here we just need to be cautious that those applications actually work together well with our network.
Olivier, you talked about integrating IT with network. That's no easy task. How are you planning to do that?
It's no easy task, but it's going on. And I will give you a few examples on that one. We have always a complex OSS, BSS set of topics to address and simplification to do. So what did we decide with Stefan is that he would lead the OSS BSS business transformation. He will have direct responsibility for the BSS, and I would take NT would take the OSS part under his umbrella. Why? Because the OSS is much more linked to what the network can achieve rather than what goes beyond. So that was a kind of a practical way of integrating more the IT in that part of OSS into NT. Another way we do it is also that we have created recently a global architecture team that is led by, in fact, 3 métiers: IT, NT, and our colleague from product and innovation. They are creating the new product for the customers. Why so? Because each time we have a new project or a new idea, we sit together and say, what are the implications? If it's an NT project, are there implications in IT or product innovation? And vice versa. And by that, we want to optimize the decision-making process, but also that from the beginning, the project will involve the right skill. And not at the end, suddenly we try how we forgot IT. It happens. NT project in the past happened to forget IT, and then at the end of the process, we need provisioning and BSS. And of course, when you do that, you put your IT colleagues in a bad shape. Okay, so this is now a way, practically, to integrate better these different métiers in the company.
Stefan, you mentioned dynamic computing in the presentation. What do you mean by dynamic computing?
Dynamic computing is our word for private cloud. So it offers the virtualization technologies, but it offers in a sheltered environment. So many people, especially in Europe, who want to use cloud services are afraid to use it large scale for really mission critical data. And we think that's actually wrong. They can use it, but they should use it in a private and secure environment. That's what we call dynamic computing. and to some extent is eating our own dog food, because that's what our T-Systems branch of Deutsche Telekom actually provides very successfully to the external marketplace. So we're using that for ourselves.
Okay, makes sense.
Very simple, it's private cloud.
Olivier, in the presentation we heard about the massive increase in data traffic created by M2M and by devices such as smartphones and iPads, for example, actually working in the background. Could you explain that in more detail, please?
In fact, machine-to-machine covers a large span of totally different use cases and applications. You mentioned first the smartphone and the pads and the tablets. These are still machines that we use as human beings, and they generate by themselves a heavy machine-to-machine hidden traffic. It's in fact signaling traffic, which is not visible from the user. Typically, when the volume seen by the user is multiplied by 5, the volume of hidden signaling is multiplied by 100. Of course, it is much smaller. Thanks God, it's much smaller. But it triggers many different and challenging behavior in the network. So what did we do with that? Because it comes from essentially it comes either or from the operating system or from the application themselves. So what did we do in Deutsche Telekom? We created what we call the Smartphone Challenge Group, where we have analyzed first the behavior of all those platforms, the threat on the network themselves to strengthen the networks, but we have also derived recommendations for both the OS vendors, the terminal OS vendors, and for the application vendors, so that we don't tell them what OS or what application they should or should not do, but we tell them what optimization they could use or should use without changing their business model or their application, in order to de-risk the deployment. And ultimately it's a win-win, because the customers of those application OS will be better served, and better served by the OS and the application, and the network will be less stressed. All in all, it's better quality for everybody and less stress on the network. That's what we do now in that domain.
Stefan, in your drive for simplification and standardization across your operation, what do you see as the major stumbling blocks?
I think it's three things. First of all, I think it's the people change is very important. The people change doesn't come overnight, and people are used in that industry to actually customize everything. I mean, customization of the singles processes was the way how we did business today, how we're still doing business in certain instances today. So that's a big shift in mindset. The second is the standards which are available on the market. I believe some of the partners, they are almost there. We have examples where we rolled out certain tools within 2 to 3 months in campaign management instead of 15, 18 months, because the standards were good. So some got it, some still have to do a lot of homework. And number 3 is actually our delivery capability of delivering transformation. I think this is easily said, but very tough to execute. So I think increasing our execution capabilities is the third obstacle which we have to tackle.
Gentlemen, thank you both for spending time with me, and hope you enjoy the rest of your time in Dublin. Thank you.
Thank you.